Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So far, we've gone over a lot of weightlifting tips and eating habits and things like that, but something I haven't really gone further into has been my supplements and what I really use. I've talked about creatine, I've briefly talked about some other things that I use, but I really wanted to focus in this video on some of the things that I use day to day, what's good for beginners, and then what's kind of good for intermediate and then advanced lifters as you go through your journey. So number one, I've definitely mentioned this at some point, the most important fundamental supplement that you can use is protein powder. My choice for this supplement is Optimum Nutrition. I would say for this, the one thing to do is do a lot of research related to harmful chemicals that could be in there. I've seen things, as far as like lead and certain things in some protein powders. If you go, to Walmart and get that super cheap brand, I would worry about that a little bit. So I like to spend a little bit of money. I know it's not the cheapest thing, but I have done research. This is a safe brand, and I'm definitely very okay taking this. I've been taking it for probably close to 10 years now. Protein powder is good for rebuilding the muscle after it's been broken down at the gym. So this is a very fundamental safe supplement to take. This one's got 24 grams of protein. It's usually they're around 100 to 120 calories. So not too bad. I just like to mix it in with like milk, or if you don't have that, just water, and a scoop of protein is good just to meet your goals for the day. What I recommend is tracking your calories with an app or something, or writing it down, or whatever you need to do. And then, also track your protein for the day. Try to, different opinions here, but I kind of like to do a gram per pound of body weight ish. So if you're like not close to that goal after you're done, for the day, and you need a little bit more protein to hit those goals, that's where this comes in. You throw a scoop of this in with the drink during one of your meals, and 24 grams of protein boosts you up to that. You hit that goal. So that's what the main part of this is. Sometimes I'll take 2 scoops. 1 or 2 is usually pretty good for me to hit my goals for the day. Next supplement, I've definitely I talked about this. I made a video about it. Is creatine. This, I would say, do your research. There are some scary myths out there about hair loss and gaining weight, fat, and things like that. Not for everybody, I would say, but if you can tolerate it, if it works well for you, I would say go ahead. Just a little recap, go watch my other video if you want more information, but it basically pulls water into the muscles and gives you a little boost of strength while you're at the gym. So when I'm on it, I usually feel a little bit more energized. I definitely feel stronger at the gym, and I can usually eke out a couple more reps or a little bit more weight, during each of my lifting sessions. So definitely I would say do your research, start off light, and then watch my other video as far as how to start on it, some potential side effects, and what are the benefits that come out of it. And then also for here, I like Optimum Nutrition too. The powder, it's tasteless. It's pretty easy just to mix in with some juice is a good way to ingest it, or sometimes I'll just throw it in with my protein shake. The next one is a very fun one that I like to do before lifting is pre-workout. What this is basically there's without going super in depth, there's 2 different pieces of this. There's a stimulant aspect, and then there's a blood flow, get your muscles ready for lifting aspect. This one is Rise brand. There's a few things I look for when I buy a pre-workout. I like to look at the labels, make sure I'm getting the proper ingredients and levels of ingredients. That's the most important. And I guess the other one is flavor. Not super big deal for me, but some people, some of these are really gross, some of these are chalky. So for this one, I would say good flavors. I have 2 different flavors here, blackberry lemonade and blue raspberry. I've tried a lot of different ones. If you want me to make a video about this in the future, going into depth with some of the pre-workouts that I've used and the pros and cons for those, let me know in the comments. The main thing here that I look at, as I said, the blood flow, the getting the muscles ready. So the L-citrulline is a very important one. Beta-alanine is the one that kind of makes you get tingles if you've ever had pre-workout before. Some don't have that, some do. So that's why I'm saying look at the labels, check, if you want that kind of thing. And if you don't, you need to, select a pre-workout based on that. And then the other thing is I always look at the caffeine content. I'm very conscious of my caffeine intake every day. The normal limit that I've seen is most healthy is like 400 grams of caffeine. I try not to get that high. That's a lot, but this one has 175 for one scoop, and if they always have the double scoop option, so that's like 350. So I'd say this is fairly average. I'd say usually around 150, 200 grams of milligrams of caffeine is pretty average. So, I know like the Ghost brand they're like at 200. So depending on what you need for that too, if you like the high stimulant, and if you don't, choose depending on that. Related to that, I also have a non-stim pre-workout. So this just has basically the same thing, and it just has no caffeine in it. So sometimes after work, I've had a coffee or two, and I'm already at 150 milligrams of caffeine for the day. I don't really want to ingest a ton of caffeine, at 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and then I have to go to bed in a couple hours. I don't sleep well when I do that. Some people are different than me. Some people can drink caffeine right before bed and fall asleep easily, but for me, I really need to, watch when I'm taking it. Usually, I've seen like at least 6 hours before you go to bed, so that doesn't really work for me after work. So I usually, after work, if I work out, I'll take this just to avoid that stimulant and help me sleep better. Definitely recommend buying, trying one of each, and then figuring out, based on all the ingredients, which brand you like and what tastes the best or whatever. The only real pill supplement I take is vitamin C at the moment. I've gone back and forth. I've taken multivitamins over the years. I've taken some fish oil. Might introduce that back in at some point. Just some of the brands for fish oil are kind of expensive. Sorry for going off on a tangent, but this I've just been doing throughout the winter, going into summer now, but just for health reasons. I haven't been sick in a long time, and I think the vitamin C boost is pretty solid. I've really liked taking this. One a day. It's 500 milligrams, so definitely good dietary supplement. Not really related to the gym, but just for health purposes. And then the final one, as you know, I've had some injuries lately as far as pulled muscles and things. So what I originally got this for was that. These are electrolyte packets. So if you know Liquid IV, this one is Element. I like this brand a lot. LMNT. They're just little packets you throw in a bottle of water. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. So just getting all three of those electrolytes in a powder and a drink, once a day. Or twice a day. What it's really good for, in general, I would say, is if you sweat a lot, obviously, and you need to replenish your electrolytes. I do it after I work out. I sweat a lot. I've seen that it helps with that pulling the muscle pulls. So I've been trying that. So far, it's been working pretty good, actually. And then also after a run outside, you're sweating a ton. You really need to drink a lot of water and get those electrolytes replenished. So I just pop one of these in a water bottle and just slam that, and I'm good. These are only 5 calories as well, so it's tastes pretty good considering it's a lot of salt and everything, and pretty healthy. So that's it right now. I've experimented with other things in the past, but this is a pretty solid basic stack, I'd say, for beginners into intermediate area. You'll hear other people, go into more advanced things, more granular things, but in my opinion, some of these things you're not really getting a ton of benefit out of based on the price you're paying. Like all this stuff is pretty expensive, honestly. Like, you know, pre-workouts, I don't know, this is like $50. The protein's like, depending on what bag you get, you know, $50 or $60 too. So it all adds up. You need to, you know, evaluate, does this price, you know, is it worth the benefit that you're getting from it? So stuff like BCAAs, I'm not a huge fan of those. I don't think that paying that much money for, you know, that supplement is worth it. Those are in other supplements that you can get it from, so just like a pure BCAA supplement isn't the base thing for me. Let me know in the comments what you guys take, if you do any of this similar stuff, what's your experience with it, anything that you think is good to add. I'd like to hear your opinion. I appreciate you guys all listening and coming to the channel. It's really been a fun thing for me. I just want to help people out and share my experience of what I've done and what's worked for me. So hope you have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.